Hi, Tim Blankenship here with Divorce 661. We're a licensed and bonded legal document preparation firm specializing in divorce. Today we're talking about reasons your judgment can get rejected when you submit your final order to the court. What the courts, and this is in regards to spousal support. Lots of folks, well, let me give you the rule. And I'm not a lawyer, not a law firm, so we can't tell you what the laws are. I'm just going to read off what the courts are telling us. So I'm kind of just referring to their documents. The courts look at long-term marriage to be anything over 10 years. If you have a long-term marriage and you submit your final judgment, the only way you can have spousal support and waived, and now we're talking about jurisdiction, to terminate spousal support is by having an agreement with your spouse. So you'd have to submit a written stipulation to that. So if you're going to do a default judgment, a default's where you file for a divorce, you serve your spouse, there's no response and they're not involved in the case. If you file a default and you have a long-term marriage, you cannot retain or you cannot terminate jurisdiction over spousal support. The courts will retain jurisdiction indefinitely. We had a client come in and hired us to finish their case. They tried to submit their documents to court, and this is what the court told them. Except on written agreement of the parties to the contrary, okay, so if they have a written agreement, they can do it, or court order terminating spousal support, the court retains jurisdiction indefinitely in a proceeding for dissolution of marriage or for legal separation of the parties where the marriage is of long duration, 10 years or more from the date of marriage to the date of separation. See Family Code 4336. So what that tells us is if you file a default, there's not going to be a written agreement, so you can't terminate jurisdiction. In fact, we've seen several cases returned where they did not approve the judgment where the parties were asking to terminate jurisdiction on long-term marriages. Now, in under 10 years, a short-term marriage, if you will, they're allowing you to terminate jurisdiction. So if you want to terminate jurisdiction, you don't want to ever have to pay spousal support, and you and your spouse agree, the only way you're going to be able to do that is by a written agreement. So your default case would not be appropriate for you in that matter. Tim Blankenship, divorce661.com. We specialize in California divorce. You can reach me direct at 661-281-0266. Thanks for watching.